Imagine an island so remote it's often called the navel of the world, dotted with nearly 1,000 monumental stone figures that seem to gaze endlessly at the horizon. These are the Moai of Rapa Nui, known to most as Easter Island. For centuries, their very existence has fueled wild theories, from alien architects to mystical powers. How did ancient people, without modern tools, carve and transport statues weighing up to 82 tons across rugged terrain? We often see just their famous faces peering from the ground. But these iconic monuments hold far more secrets than meet the eye. Today, we peel back the layers of mystery surrounding these stone giants. In just a few minutes, you will understand not just how they moved, but why their very birthplace was an agricultural marvel, revealing a sophisticated ancient society that still baffles us today. The true purpose of these silent sentinels is about to be revealed. Easter Island is home to over 600 gigantic stone statues, alongside the ruins of massive stone platforms known as Gyi-Yuzi-Datar. These platforms, often featuring open courtyards on their landward sides, showcase truly masterful construction techniques. In the island's early period, archaeological excavations in Anakina have revealed a variety of statues were carved, including smaller prototypes of the more recognizable middle-period busts. These earlier versions generally featured more rounded heads and stubbier bodies compared to their later, more angular descendants. Most of the Middle Period statues range from about 10 to 20 feet in height, standing as impressive testaments to human endeavor. However, the largest among those formerly positioned atop Oahu was a staggering 32 feet tall. This single block of stone weighed approximately 82 tons, with an additional 11-ton pukan, or topknot, balanced precariously on its apex. Imagine moving such a colossal structure. Almost all moai were carved from volcanic tuff, a relatively soft but durable rock found predominantly in the Raraku Quarry, a natural factory for these monumental figures. Roughly 95% of all moai originated from this single location, scattered across the island in various stages of completion. This quarry itself contains many statues partially covered by soil, often leading to the misconception that only heads were carved. The mysterious statues of Easter Island, known as Moai, have captivated imaginations for centuries. According to the oral traditions of the Rapa Nui people who carved them, the statues simply walked to their coastal platforms. For many years, this was dismissed as a charming myth, until scientific investigation began to take the tradition seriously. Researchers, including Binghamton University archaeologist Carl Lippo, decided to test this ancient lore. Their team, using 3D modeling and even field experiments with large stone replicas, confirmed that the Rapa Nui people indeed walked the iconic moai statues. The secret, it turns out, lies in the statue's design and the island's ancient roads. Lippo and his colleague, Terry Hunt, meticulously studied more than 900 Yimei moai, paying close attention to those found along the island's ancient transport routes. They discovered that the road moai, those found along the paths, possess distinct rounded, D-shaped bases. These bases are notably broader and flatter than those of the statues eventually erected on coastal Oahus, providing a stable yet rockable foundation. By tying ropes to the statues and carefully rocking them from side to side, much like moving a refrigerator, the Rapa Nui could inch these massive figures forward. This method, combined with the gentle inclines of their transport roads, transformed a seemingly impossible feat into an achievable engineering marvel. It proved the Rapa Nui were not just skilled carvers, but also brilliant movers. But that's not even the best part. The most interesting is still ahead. This ingenious method of transport is only one piece of the puzzle. The purpose behind these colossal efforts is even more profound. Many people envision the moai as merely disembodied heads peering out from the ground, a common misconception perpetuated by popular photographs. However, this image usually shows statues partially buried by centuries of shifting soil within the Raraku Quarry. The truth is, almost all moai are complete, full-bodied figures. They just happen to have disproportionately large heads, which account for roughly 3/8 of their total size, and notably, no legs. These monolithic human figures were carved by the Rapa Nui people between approximately 1250 and 1500 AD. They are far more than mere sculptures. They represent the likenesses of deified ancestors. These figures embodied the spiritual presence of their forebears, watching over the island and its inhabitants. They also honored the family of Chief Hotu Matua, who is traditionally believed to have first settled Easter Island after sailing from another Polynesian island. The placement of Moai on Wahahus around the island's perimeter was strategic. They faced inland, symbolizing their role as guardians of the community and connecting the living to the spirit world. While the famous stone Moai are the most well-known, the Rapa Nui also carved smaller wooden versions, such as the Moai Kavakavai, male, Kamo Mai, Pepai, female, and Jiomoi Tayatai, male, showing the enduring significance of ancestor representation in their culture. The dedication to these ancestral figures was profound, reflected in the sheer scale of the carving and transportation efforts. The Rano-Arariku Quarry is renowned as the birthplace of 95% of Easter Island's more than 1,000 Moai. It is where these colossal figures were meticulously carved from the volcanic tuff, representing an extraordinary feat of ancient engineering and artistry. However, recent scientific findings suggest this site was not merely an industrial zone for statue production. Geoarchaeologist Zara Sherwood and archaeologist Jo Ann van Tilburg, after 5 years of careful study, have unearthed scientific evidence of a long hypothesized dual purpose for Rano Rarak. Their analysis of 2 specific moai excavated within the inner region of the quarry revealed something astonishing. Beneath the earth, the very soil around these statues was incredibly fertile. It was enriched by mineral runoff from the quarry and sustained by fresh water, making it an exceptionally productive agricultural area. This discovery fundamentally reshapes our understanding of Rano Raraku. It wasn't just a place where ancestors were created. It was also a vital food source. The act of carving the moai actually contributed to the soil's fertility by releasing beneficial elements, making the quarry land unusually suitable for cultivation. This indicates a sophisticated understanding of land use and resource management by the Rapa Nui. They transformed a challenging volcanic landscape into a sustainable environment, intertwining their spiritual beliefs with their practical survival. This means that as they carved their sacred ancestors, they were also cultivating crops to feed their community, making the quarry a truly sacred and utilitarian space. This dual purpose fundamentally changes how we view the Rapa Nui people and their priorities. The quarry's dual purpose shows an incredible ingenuity, but even these resilient people face challenges that threaten their colossal legacy. While the carving of Moai largely occurred between 1250 and 1500, the island's history also records periods of deliberate destruction and rebuilding. In the middle period, roughly between 1050 and 1680, some statues were intentionally toppled and discarded. Many yahase were also rebuilt without regard for their original solar orientation or precise masonry fitting, suggesting significant societal shifts or conflicts. This period marked a complex phase in the island's cultural landscape, where the meaning and placement of these ancestral figures were reinterpreted or contested. Today, the enduring legacy of the Moai faces a new kind of threat: the relentless forces of nature. The statues, which have stood sentinel for centuries, are now tragically crumbling into the sea. Easter Island, a remote landmass about the size of Washington, D.C., situated 3,500 kilometers off the coast of Chile, is particularly vulnerable to climate change. Coastal erosion, driven by rising sea levels and more intense storms, is steadily eroding the foundations of these ancient monuments. Maria Tuki, a local Rapa Nui resident, walks past half-finished figures in the Rano Raraku quarry, keenly aware of the urgent decisions required to protect her people's heritage. The tough rock, while easier to carve, is also susceptible to weathering, making the statues vulnerable to cracking and decay. Protecting these unique human statues, which represent the island's first communities and their paramount chief, Hotumatua, has become a global conservation imperative. These silent guardians, having survived centuries of human hands, now face the ultimate test against the very elements that shaped their island home. The Moai of Easter Island are more than just impressive stone carvings. They are a profound testament to human ingenuity, belief, and resilience. From their intricate walking across the island to the sacred agricultural life within their Quarry birthplace, these giants encapsulate a story of deep connection between people, their ancestors, and the land. They remind us that ancient civilizations often possessed sophisticated knowledge that we are only now beginning to fully appreciate. These monumental figures, carved from volcanic rock, represent deified ancestors, forever watching over a remote island. As they face the modern threat of coastal erosion, their plight serves as a powerful reminder of our shared responsibility to preserve the irreplaceable heritage of humanity. The Moai stand as enduring symbols, urging us to look closer, question more, and value the deep stories carved into our planet's history. The story of the Moai is still being written, and it is a fascinating chapter of our shared human ancestry.